the end of Unit 9. Congratulations. The song we're going to learn here is a folk song called Ara Lee. And you may also recognize this as sounding just like the song Love Me Tender that Elvis Presley made famous. He actually took that melody and put new words to it, so that's why it sounds familiar. It's in the key of C. One of the main things that's interesting about this song is that it uses secondary dominant chords. And so what that means, like right now we're in the key of C, so the G7 is the dominant chord, or the 5/7 of the key, and it leads to C. We've learned some other dominant chords, and when they're not functioning in the key, but they're leading some other thing, they're called secondary dominants, because we're in the key of C, so the dominant chord is G7, which is going to lead us home to C. But we're going to use some other dominant chords throughout the song that are going to lead to other chords. So for example, in measure 6, we're going to use a D7 to precede G. And in the measure 9, we're going to use E7 to precede A minor. And finally, at the end, 11, 12, measure 13, we're going to play A7 to precede D7, which will precede G, which will go to G7 and lead us back to C. So a whole string of secondary dominants there. So the dominant chords are the 7th chords, and if it's any dominant chord other than G7, we refer to it as a secondary dominant, meaning it's functioning outside of the key to lead us to the next chord. All right, so I'll go ahead and play the melody for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. Rest, rest. There we go. Now, in terms of the accompaniment part, I intentionally did not put a strum pattern in this or a written out accompaniment part. You can play whatever you'd like. You could do the root strum pattern. You could also do a alternate bass kind of strum pattern. You could also do some more pop kind of pattern, like the down, down, up, up, down, up syncopated pattern, which would sound like this. Let me warn you about one thing. If you use either the alternate bass pattern or a strum pattern that does not repeat the same rhythm pattern in beats 3 and 4 as it did in beats 1 and 2, you have to start the pattern over. So in the case of the root strum pattern, there's no need, you need to start the pattern over if you change chords on beat 3, I'm sorry. So, if you're doing the root strum pattern, it doesn't matter, because when you get to somewhere like measure 6, 7, 8, 9, where you go, you would just play the root and the chord. But if you're doing the alternate bass pattern, I'm going to go ahead and play measure 6, 7, 8 on the C chord once with the alternate bass. Then I have to drop that alternate bass and just go to the root strum pattern when the chords change every 2 beats. So it's not like this. 1, 2, measure 8. And if I was doing the syncopated strum pattern in that same place, measure 8, I'd have to start the syncopated strum pattern over on each chord change. So it's not like this. 1, 2, measure 8. there you go. So there's little tricks in there. If the chord's changing every 2 beats, you have to make some adjustments in your strum pattern. Good luck with that, and congratulations on getting to the end of Unit 9, Lesson 8.